Welcome back to the Sales Genius Podcast and War Games. I'm Joe Ingram, your host. Today, all of us are thrilled to have Adam Rosen, a world traveling entrepreneur, which, hey, who doesn't want to do that, right? Who sold his first tech startup in 2019. He now leads eocworks.com. You'll see it scrolling on the bottom of the screen, where he helps startups get sales through innovative cold email. Okay. The strategies are there. The nomadcloud.com, supporting entrepreneurs and business professionals and exploring the world while growing professionally. In this episode, mastering the AI and cold outreach for entrepreneurs. So get the emails ready, guys, because we're gonna learn how to take this to the next level. He's gonna share his expertise with us, providing invaluable insights for optimizing your sales processes. So get ready to learn from a true expert in the field. So let's get it started.
Welcome to War Games, hosted by the sales genius Joe Ingram. If you're looking to win the sales battle, then you have joined the right team. In the War Games group, we devise strategies for sales, marketing, branding, mindset, and attitude. We enlist the assistance from the most successful producers across all industries. We then share their knowledge and techniques with you. Our single goal is to get you ready for your next sales opportunity. When it comes to crossing the minefield of sales, step in the footprints of those that have crossed before you. Now, prepare yourself for boot camp and beyond. It's time for the War Games to begin.
How we play a game.
Fantastic. Let's bring up some VIPs. We have JR with us. We have Tyler, Preston, Ty the car guy. Wow. Coach Dan Gordon is here. So I want to say welcome, everybody. So JR's a little locked up, so we're going to kick him out until his camera decides to work. But more importantly, guys, the one we're all here to brag about, which is Adam Rosen. Adam, thank you so much, because I think this is so necessary. And I'm going to start by being a jerk and go, dude, seriously, email's dead. What are you talking about?
Well, first, Joe, thank you for having me. Coach Dan, Tyler, JR, hopefully you'll get that camera working again. I appreciate you guys having me, and I'm ready to run through a brick wall after that intro. So yeah, my juice is flowing during that intro. And now you got my juice flowing even more because you're challenging, does cold email even work? Right. And I'll say right off the bat, cold email, you're right, it does not actually work. It doesn't work anymore if you don't know what you're doing. And we'll talk more about this throughout the conversation today, because the cold email world has gotten so complex. Like the stuff that used to work in the old days, and I'm talking less than a year ago at this point is the old days, does not work today. So you're right, Joe, cold email does not work if you don't know what you're doing. But if you do know what you're doing, which I'm going to talk about here over the next 20 or so minutes, you will and can get results through cold email.
That's fantastic, because, again, I'm excited because all of us are looking for business. All of us want to get the customer that reaches out to us, and I don't care if I did a cold outreach. It's those ones that reply that matter the most, right? So, no, thank you. Teach us something, because, again, everybody here needs to sell something today. And so my thing is I'll stop talking for now, but I will pop up because I've got a couple questions. But I want to say, please share with us what works, what doesn't, and don't give it all away, because I want them to go to eocworks.com, right, and reach out to you, because your contact info, so your website's in the show notes, as well as we have your LinkedIn profile is there as well. And Brian Galkey has joined, so welcome. Yep. Brian Galkey.
Brian, it's nice to meet you. I appreciate you being here. All right. So, Joe, let's dive right into it. So first, I'll say one of the things that I'm really excited about being with this audience specifically is I like to call myself more of a sales-focused entrepreneur. So I love the art of sales. I love the opportunity to convert. That's something that I love. So I love talking to a bunch of sales leaders in a variety of industries. And I'll give you all just a quick background into myself and why I even started an email related business. So I started email outreach company about 3 years ago at this point. And before this company, I had a tech startup for about 5 years. I sold that company now back in 2019. The reason why I bring that up is because how we got just about every customer. And a lot of them are big brands, like think Bank of America, Amazon, Apple, Goldman, Disney, all these big brands we got just from cold emailing them. So as everybody on this call knows, and anyone who's listening to this, we all know how important top of the funnel is really for any company, but especially when you're not a brand like an Amazon or an Apple or a Goldman, that just has the leads coming to them. So when I started this company again about 3 years ago, the whole thing was how do we help more startups? Now we've advanced to bigger companies now too, but how do we help startups get connected to more sales opportunities? Because we're only as good as our top of the funnel. If our calendars are full with high quality sales appointments, we're probably feeling confident. We're probably executing better on those calls because we don't feel so desperate. We don't feel like we have to hold on to those single opportunities because, hey, we got a full pipeline and a full calendar ahead that will make sure that will help make sure that we're getting sales. So it's so important for us to have a true top of the funnel. Now, how do you do that through cold email? Because cold email has changed a ton. And going back to Joe's point earlier, there's a lot of people that aren't seeing results through cold email anymore. So the key is, how do we help people get results through cold email? What exactly can you do? Now, first, it's important to even understand, how has cold email changed? Like what has actually happened that has made cold email change?
So can I throw out there, just for the most basic of basics, because this will be on YouTube and somebody's going to go, hey, let me jump in here, and they're going to go, what's cold email? Right. And so then we go, oh, if we don't explain it, then they're all going to think something different. So how do we define that?
So cold email is the whole point of cold email is to connect person A to person B. Now, with a newsletter, someone's opting into your newsletter to receive information from you. From cold outreach, they are not. So we're scraping a list and we're reaching out to them cold, so without their consent, to try to generate business, to try to generate some type of call to action, a phone call, going to your website, some type of lead magnet. But cold email is different from warm email, like a newsletter, in terms of they did not opt in to receive an email from you.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you. Just for clarity.
So how has cold email changed? There was a seismic event that happened in September of 2023 where Google Domains was purchased by Squarespace. And overnight, our bounce rate went from about 1% to 2% to about 50%.
Ooh, ouch.
That was the first real domino to fall of this whole industry changing. A lot of people have heard about Google and Yahoo and these other providers and the different restrictions they have now. A year ago, when we would work with our full service clients, we would create one domain that we would email from and a few email accounts that we'd be sending emails from. Because maybe everyone here, all the VIPs, for anyone that's done cold email outreach, do you email from your main domain or do you have other domains you're sending from?
Main.
Yeah, I think going from your main one is the one that kills you, right? And so I've made the mistake of going from main, but after talking with other people, the answer was create a separate one so that if it gets flagged, you're not killing yours. Because I can't stand reaching out to an actual client and be in their junk folder, right?
Exactly.
Oh.
So even a year ago, you still shouldn't have emailed off your main domain, mass emailed. Now it is do not ever even think about it. It is far, far, far too risky. Joe just hit the nail on the head. The worst thing about it is you start sending an email to a potential customer, or maybe they are a customer, and you're not hearing back. The reason could be that your whole domain now is marked as spam, and your email deliverability health, your domain health, has dropped. one of our current customers, and they're a big, well-known company, they started working with us a few months ago. And one of the things that prompted them to even look at this is they were making that same mistake. They were sending a significant amount of emails from their primary domain, and they saw their domain health score drop significantly, getting close to being blacklisted. This is a well-known company that's been in business for a long time, which means emails they were sending to customers, potential customers, you name it, they may be going into spam now because they were doing it.
So I got a question on the phone which came up and said, how do I know my domain health?
Yeah, there's
Which
various.
Is pretty valid because I couldn't tell you either. That's why I'm asking. Yeah.
Great question. There's various websites you can look at. One of the websites that we actually have an AI coach that works with us. And one of the things that his whole job is he built out a technology for us that will show everybody's domain health that we work with and to see how strong it is. So if anyone on this call, if you want me to check your domain health, just send me over an email and I'll make sure we check that out for you.
That's fantastic.
So, Adam, are you suggesting that anytime that we send out a mass email, we buy a new domain and send it from there?
Correct. Now, you don't have to send it for every single email. So to break it down in a simple way, a year ago, we would have one domain and a few emails that we would send from. So somebody throw out a domain. What's somebody's domain here?
Dan Gordon Enterprise.
All right, that's a really difficult one, Dan. So Gordon. No, I'm kidding. Dan Gordon Enterprise.
So you got to spell enterprise, and unless you're a Star Trek fan, you ain't got it.
Yeah, exactly. So an example was we would create a domain that's maybe try dangordonenterprise.com or dangordoncoach.com or dangordonworks.com. Different variations of your domain that look like yours will redirect to your website, but aren't going to be your main domain. This way, your primary domain, Dan Gordon Enterprise, is not at risk.
How about creating a Gmail account and sending from there?
Yep. So you'll typically create it through, and we'll go through exact steps that you all can take. But our process is we create the domains through GoDaddy. They're a good provider.
Yeah.
You don't want to use some of these lesser providers that are cheaper because those are some of the first ones that get blacklisted and more. So you would create a domain through like a GoDaddy, and then you would create the email accounts within those domains. But you want to set up their DNS records properly. And anytime I'm getting too nerdy with this, just stop me and I can explain it.
Now, I will tell you too, though, like from my perspective, being a business owner, if I get something from a Gmail as a cold outreach, I immediately don't think you're a real company. Mm-hmm. I figure you're some guy sitting out there and added a company logo to your Gmail account, right?
Right.
And so that to me is always what I get.
Yeah. Well, I was just getting ready to say the same thing. I can tell you who's using like Go High Level to send me an email because it'll be like their domain name whatever. And I noticed they changed their subdomains, but so you're recommending going with a completely new domain, not creating subdomains that go along with it?
Correct. Yeah, it's very easy to spin up these domains, at least if you know how to do it. And by the way, we do all this stuff for everybody too. So if you ever feel like this is super overwhelming, just know everything I talk about, we can do for you guys, of course. But yes, it's all stuff that will look like your domain. Like my domain's eocworks.com. We probably have 400, 500 domains attached to my domain. And then we have
330 domains. Woo!
There you go. That's a lot. Yeah. The reason why you need to have all these domains and emails now is because you can only send a limited amount of emails from each inbox at this point. In the old days, a year ago, you could get away with sending 1,000 emails per inbox in a day, as long as you did everything else right. You warmed up the domains right, all deliverability is strong, you're not using spammy keywords, all that stuff. You can get away with it. Now you can only send about 20 emails per inbox per day. Wow. To give you guys an idea, we increased the sending to 25 emails per inbox per day. Our deliverability dropped across the board. We reduced it back to 20. Deliverability went back up. That's how finicky these different providers are now.
So what you're saying is that if I have 1,000 people that I want to send in an email to, I should only send it 20 emails a day. Wow.
Correct. That's why, though, you want to spin up all these different domains and emails. So if you had So if you had 50 different email accounts you're sending from, 50 times 20, what's that? 200 emails in a day?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow.
And then you can obviously just keep scaling it from there. So that's why for us, one of our biggest customer, actually, we have over 1,000 emails that we're sending from, but we have millions of contacts to get through. So we're sending a lot of emails every single day from them. So really the biggest, and I'll get into this in a little bit, for us, when we're looking at cold email, the first thing we have to look at, I should say, how big is our universe? How big is our universe of potential customers? So maybe even someone on the call here who wants to give me an idea of what your ICP is, your ideal customer profile.
So I'll jump in because I'm not scared. So for one, his name is Ivan, right? And so my ideal customer profile, he's between 45 and 65. He's a male. He owns 3 or more automotive dealerships, and still works within the dealership itself. So that's what I have. So income is over 2 million a year. And then that's my guy.
So that's a good example. That's a very tight ICP, which is great. Now, so some of those things are a little more challenging to filter on. Right. Male and female can be a little more challenging. Do they own?
Well, we don't even know. It's 2024.
Exactly. So you don't. Why assume? So might as well reach out to anybody. But like you could easily do filters of like, hey, what size company are they in terms of revenue? What title do they have? Are they a CEO? Are they a founder? Are they a president? Then how many employees do they have? That could be another filter you use. And then you can easily reach out to those folks. But Joe, you might know, hey, my universe is 20,000 people, or maybe your universe is 200,000 people. The bigger your universe, the more opportunity, of course, there is.
Right. Yeah. My universe, because I typically just do franchise automotive dealerships. There's 16,000 in the United States, but there's a lot of single owner ones. So I'm less than 10,000 people potential. So,
and that's where, and I'll get into this more later. And if I forget, remind me. There's so many good tools out there. Like the best one we know is a tool called Clay.ai. Have you guys ever heard of that?
No, but I'm writing it down. Yeah.
So we've all seen the BS personalization emails, right? Like, hey, I saw you went to this university. What do you think about our mascot? Or like, hey, I see you're based in New York. What do you think about this, deli, whatever? It's like, that doesn't add any value to me. It's like, I know you're just using crap personalization. Yeah. But there's a technology out there called Clay.ai, which is an advanced tool. So if anyone is like business 101 or email 101 that's listening to this, Clay is definitely like a next step after you master the 101. But if you can master that, Clay is able to send emails that it seems like you were on their website for 45 minutes researching their company, and then you wrote a highly personalized email that seems like it was just one-to-one. We have an AI coach that teaches us how to get the most out of tools like this, because through just mastering Clay, and I wouldn't say we're masters, we're always mastering it, but it's helped us 2x and almost 3x for some of our customers, our replies and our meetings. So for you, Joe, because your universe is a little bit tighter than some others, you would want to use a tool like Clay to get better results out of your smaller universe.
And is it CLAY?
Yep, CLAY.ai.
I think it's .com. I tried AI
sorry.
and didn't.
Yes, you're right. It's clay.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got an error, but I wouldn't be searching while you were talking.
Yeah, no, of course.
no, that would be rude.
Got it. Perfect.
So,
I feel better now.
So anyway, going back to just how email has changed. One, the infrastructure required is easily 10x, 20x what it was a year ago. Number 2, copy. Now, again, going back to some of these changes. In the old days, it used to be good enough to write one good piece of copy, press send, wait back, relax, and wait for the means to come in. Not anymore.
Right.
Now, Google, Yahoo, these providers have gotten smart, and they're like, okay, you're saying that I don't care if you're sending 20 emails in a day. I don't care if you're sending it every 47 minutes. I'm going to pick up on it if it's the same copy every time. So there's things called spin tax. Basically, what spin tax does is it randomizes your copy. So there's slight nuance throughout. So like, let's say I was emailing, Tyler, Dan, Joe, and JR. To Tyler, it might say, hey, Tyler. To Dan, it might say Dan. To Joe, it might say, hello, Joe. To JR, it might say, what's up, JR? Even though I would obviously never say what's up in a cold email.
Right. But JR would like it.
JR would like it. So maybe if it was to JR, I would do that. So randomizes little parts of your copy so every email seems slightly nuanced. Why do you do that? Really for one reason, to get out of the spam filter and into the inbox. And then number 3 is AI. We have all seen some really horrible AI emails, and it's because most people don't know how to use AI properly. AI has changed the game when it comes to cold emailing. It's made things a lot easier in some ways, but because it's made things easier, it's also made it so there's a lot more noise and bad emailing out there. Anytime things are easier, people think they can cut corners and just let AI do the job for you. No. If you go on ChatGPT or Claude, Sonnet, or any of these copywriting AI tools out there, and you just say, write me a cold email for my company targeting this person, the email they're going to produce for you is horrible.
Agreed.
I did a talk in Hawaii for a big conference for entrepreneurs and investors, and it was on AI and marketing. One of the things I did was I showed them, if you go on to, this was about 6 months ago, if you use ChatGPT 3.5, here's what it's going to produce for you. GPT-4, here's what it's going to produce for you. And then using a prompt that we built that recreates a lot of our highest performing emails, here's what that will produce. So all AI is not created equally. So make sure if you are leveraging AI, like a Clay or like different GPTs or just a GPT in general, make sure it's high quality. And by the way, if anyone wants our custom built GPT, email me, I'll give it away. You don't have to pay me $1 for it. You can enjoy it and run with it.
What are they emailing you at?
That's a great question. Adam@eocworks.com.
I knew that.
Oh, yeah. So true. Adam@eocworks.com. Beautiful.
Yeah. So that was in our private chat with everybody because Tyler had asked, and I was like, I have it. I just don't know if we want to say it out loud.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Adam@eocworks.com. So now, what are the basics? If we were to boil down email for anybody, what are the 3 basic things we should be doing? We want to look at deliverability market fit. We want to look at the email copy market fit. And then we want to look at list market fit. If we could check those 3 boxes off, which is what we look at with our customers, if we could do those 3 things, you can get results through cold email. So how do we get deliverability market fit? Number 1, you have to create the infrastructure. Again, if you don't want to create the infrastructure, welcome to the club. I've met very few people, I should say, that know how to or want to build the infrastructure out.
100%.
If you say you just want to outsource it, let me know. We have an easy DIY infrastructure building package that starts at $750 a month that we could do for you to build out your whole infrastructure. So infrastructure, your DNS records, everything. So that's number 1. You got to make sure your infrastructure is built. Your domains, your emails, your DNS records, you're warming them up so that you can start sending emails at scale. Number 2, copy. Again, for email copy, you could do a couple of things. 1, use my GPT prompt that will give you. It's called Cold Email Writer 2.0. 2, you could use tools like Clay.com, the AI tool. Again, that's much more advanced, complicated. That would take like a full walkthrough, with me or someone on my team. Or you can use this simple formula that we've gotten, and I only say this just to, just to show you that it works. But I've gotten paid a few $1,000s just to do a talk in the old days on just copy, which is so funny to think about now because of how different it is. And we would do an hour-long presentation. I would do an hour-long presentation. And when I would share how to write good copy, it's a really simple formula that anyone can use. So PPSPA. 1 sentence, what's the purpose of your email? 2nd sentence on its own line, what's the problem that you solve? 3rd sentence on its own line, what's the solution? What's your solution? Fourth line, what's your proof? What's your social proof? So who have you worked with? What press have you been featured with? Stuff that, of course, give you that social proof. 5, what's your call to action? Hey, do you have 15 minutes to chat? Those are basic, fundamental things.
What's the first P?
First P is purpose. Like, what's the reason for your email?
Got it.
Now, again, that's much more like a 101 level. When you want to get into the more complex stuff, you'll want to use tools like Clay that will help personalize all that stuff. And what we do with our emailing is we tie our Clay prompt into our primary email, which communicates with our technology called Instantly, which sends out all of our emails. So it all runs smoothly and very easily. But if you looked at the back end, it would probably give you a headache like it does for me too.
That's amazing. No, I love that. And again, I just want to point out the easiest solution is to say, Adam at EOC Works, bro, I need help. Let's get started where you can help me. Yeah. So.
Right. That's usually what people end up wanting to do. But hey, anyone who wants to do this, here's all the stuff that you'll need to do. Now, when it comes to following up, that's of course key. You want to do at least 3 or 4 follow-ups. It takes on average 3.5 emails to get 1 meeting booked. That's from all of our data of all of our meetings we booked across all of our customers. And that'll give you guys like 2 easy hacks that you can all use and steal. And they're very simple things. This subject line used to make my stomach turn. And when my co-founder was first presented with this subject line, because one of our coaches said, hey, this gets us better results than anything, I was hesitant to try it. But it has greatly increased our results. So just use it. It's good. It works. It's just hi and then their first name. That's it.
Really, that's it.
That's it. I used to not like it. It just gets the best results. So I just shut up and say, let's roll with it. Now, if you guys want to know the hack of all hacks. I don't like the word
hack of all hacks. Bring it. Yes.
So one of our when we email on behalf of our customers, nobody even knows we exist because we're just pretending like we're our customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a prospect we reached out to that loved what I'm going to share with you so much that they went on LinkedIn, they screenshotted our email, they shouted out my customer, tagged him on LinkedIn, and said this was one of the most brilliant emails I've ever seen. Nobody ever knew that we existed or that we ever did it. My business partner, again, I mentioned we have a coach. He's in a group. It's an AI email marketing group. Without knowing, somebody put one of our emails into that chat and said, hey, this is the most brilliant PS. Check this thing out. I did not come up with this, so I'm not patting myself on the back here. I hate nothing pains me more than to give my co-founder great credit, but I have to do it here.
Right. We don't know him.
Exactly.
So we're only hearing it from you. So it's totally yours.
True. Chop, let's just clip that. Let's pretend like I came up with this because I'm brilliant, of course.
Yep.
So this PS, everybody take it. It's a win-win. It will cost you a little bit of money, but it's worth it. So the PS is, and I'm going to butcher the word for word here, but the PS is basically every reply helps our domain health. So just by replying, we're going to feed 5 dogs, 5 bowls of dog food to dogs, to a shelter. Just by replying. That PS alone, more than 2x our response rate. And almost more importantly, has helped us get so many more meetings, because not everyone responds and says, this is amazing, or I'm in, but you get a lot of responses. You get very few people that will mark you as spam. And we have 2 different channels in our Slack group. One is great, memorable responses. People that basically say like, hey, this is the best email ever. You guys are amazing. We have another Slack channel that's ugly responses, where people are basically telling you to F off. That part of our Slack channel used to be a lot more active. Since we've implemented this PS, it is so rare we ever get an email from somebody that's like, you're the worst, I hate you, don't ever email me again. And we donate through a charity. It's called Greater Good, greatergood.com, greatergood.org. It's not like it's super expensive for us, but at the end of every month, we add up every single reply we got across all of our customers. And then we just donate to this charity. and it's the best, $1,000 or, whatever it ends up being every month that we end up spending. So I highly and it's a win-win for everybody. You're feeding more dogs, you're getting replies, you're getting meetings, and the people that respond, they love it. Some people even say, "Hey, how did you know I was a dog lover? This is great." And I'm always like,
everyone should be.
Exactly. If you're not a dog lover, then
right.
I don't want to work with you anyway.
You don't even want your business. If you're like pro cat, forget it.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm full on the dog train.
Adam, have you seen other people use different charitable option or different charitable subjects, right? It's not dog, maybe it's a Cancer Society, Wounded Warriors, that kind of a thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, great question. So one of our customers, they're a big environmental company. They do a lot around weather. And for them, we donate trees. But absolutely, like we've talked about supporting some cause related to our veterans, you name it. So whatever cause means a lot to you, I would put that as the PS.
Okay. And just say every response that we get, we donate. Is that it?
Exactly. Yeah. It's basically because it's like out of full transparency. And anyone who wants this, also email me. I'll send you the exact PS that we use and go run with it. But we call out responses, replies help domain health. Because of that, we would like to hear a reply from you, even if it's a no. So if you do reply, we'll donate 5 bowls of dog food.
Boom.
Okay.
And so with that, am I breaking up still, Joe?
You are really scratchy, but we're going to pretend you're back in the 40s and we're listening to you on a record. So go for it.
What was the pull rate on that with this brilliant PS versus before that you're getting response?
It's easily 2x star response rate, and it's probably more like 3 or 4x star response rate. It's pretty incredible how many replies we get now. And a lot of people talk about opens as the most important or one of the most important KPIs. Like for me, there's 2 very important KPIs. How many meetings are we booking, of course. But the second one is replies. Why are replies so important? Opens, they're BS. You can't trust open rates. So you shouldn't even track opens, actually. Tracking opens increases the likelihood you end up in spam. So you do not even want to track opens. And number 2, even if you do track it, the data it's telling you is so inaccurate where it doesn't really tell you the full story anyway. Where replies, that's a real person that's actually responding to your email. That's a much more accurate measure of deliverability. And every reply you get increases your deliverability, which means the next person has a higher likelihood they're going to see your email versus if they don't respond, there's a higher likelihood that your next email is going to go into spam. So a lot of cold email is just a deliverability game. If you can master the deliverability game, you have a chance. If you don't master that, you're really SOL. And then the third, yeah, great question. Thanks, JR. And the final thing on the basics is really just the list market fit. So how do you get lists? Now, the great news is lists used to be very expensive. Like there's a lot of people that would use Zoom Info, which sometimes they'd be paying like $1 or more per contact. We used to sell lists about a year ago. We would sell them at a good price. It'd be like 30, 35 cents a contact. That was a good deal. Now we get our list for like a penny. So you can get lists at such a low cost, which means the barrier to entry for anybody is so much lower than it used to be. A list of 1,000 people used to be at least $200 or $300. Now you can get that same list for maybe $10.
And you know how to get them from where they're at?
Absolutely, yeah. And but even for anyone using this, again, like, of course, I'd love every one of you guys to work with me. But if you want to try stuff on your own, like instantly.ai, they're a great tool. They do a lot of stuff I'm talking about here. One of the things they do is you can get lists through them. And look, are they the best list provider in the world? No. However, they are high quality, and it's probably enough for you to get started with. So again, of course, like, yes, we could probably do it better. We could probably give you a big boost. Of course, I feel very confident about that. But for anyone who wants to try this on your own, like Instantly is the tool to check it out. And if you're not getting results, give me a call, shoot me an email, and we'll help you get better results.
So I'm looking at it now. My hat on is Ty the car guy right at the top. So he is in a new area with a different organization, has the ability to sell across the platform, so he's not brand specific, but he could legit go find a list of people in his 25-mile radius around where he's at, and then cold email using clay.com or saying, let's go to eocworks.com and say, guys, help me out and build it for me with your GPT prompts and stuff. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Like for hyper localized businesses too, like for Tyler. Tyler, what area are you in?
I'm in Arlington, Texas.
Yeah,
Capital
I'm sure.
T.
Yeah, I'm sure Arlington's got plenty of people to choose from there, and you could easily get a list of just folks in Arlington, and I'd be running campaigns to them.
Yeah. So Adam, we're gonna have to talk because I definitely, again, well, I'm gonna tell you right now that I've gotten to the point where it's like my time is worth something, and me sitting down and trying to figure all this out and going through, right? Because a lot of my business is word of mouth or social media posting, and I've been farming this off as we go through, except for word of mouth, right? And then, but to stop and say, let's get some meetings set. And I love the fact you shared it's 3.5 emails to one meeting, right? These are certain KPIs you need to be looking and seeing, am I tracking the right way? Because I've had like zero success with outbound people saying, hey, we can set up sales meetings for you. Hey, we can do this and we can do that. And I'm like, you guys can't. Everybody in my world kicks your ass when you guys get on these email things and go back and forth, and nobody knows how to convert somebody. So I would love that. So we definitely want to talk about that. But
yeah, absolutely. So I know we're kind of getting up against the clock there, but just really quickly, the basic technology that, again, if you guys want to do this on your own, I'll give you like the basic technology that you need, and then some of the more advanced stuff, which a lot of it we've talked about. But for anyone here that's like, hey, Adam, thanks for sharing this information, but I'm going to do this on my own. What you'll need to do is you'll need to use a tool called Instantly. Again, I mentioned them, instantly.ai. Through them, for most people, you can get the list. You can send the emails there. You can manage the replies in there. You can do a lot of the basics in there. So instantly.ai, they're like the basic tool that really anybody should be using to do emails. We're sending over 1 million emails a month for our customers, and we do it through Instantly. So it's a phenomenal tool.
But you need to have your domain name separate from GoDaddy. I'm a GoDaddy reseller too, so I believe in it too.
Yeah, exactly. You want to do it through a GoDaddy. There's other sources. Instantly can also help you do it for you too, but GoDaddy, if you want to do the best, you'll want to do it through GoDaddy. If you say, hey, I don't know how to do it, I don't want to do it, 80% of domains are actually not set up properly, like the DNS records. It's like your registration sticker on your car. If it's not set up, if you don't have your registration sticker, you get pulled over, you're in bad shape. Same thing with email. If your DNS records are not set up, they're going to send you to spam jail very quickly. So you got to make sure that stuff is set up right. And that's why our package, our DIY, where we set up your whole setting infrastructure, that's why people tend to get a lot of value from it.
Adam, does Instantly, is it marketing or is it email automation? Can you set up that, or is it just sending out mass emails? Okay.
Yep, email automation, absolutely.
So is it like ActiveCampaign, Moosen, that kind of thing?
Yeah, very similar. Where you're able to set your campaigns, your 7-8 follow-ups, whatever you want to do. You're able to even import our GPT prompt with your copy in there. If you get into more of the advanced tools like a Clay, that's where you'll have to connect Clay to Instantly. But that stuff is much more complicated. So that's more of like the next level.
And are there any other marketing automation platforms that you like, or is like Instantly your thing?
Instantly is our thing. Apollo is another great one, which is probably a little more well-known than Instantly. And they have more lists too through Apollo. So sometimes we'll get lists through Apollo. Instantly, we found to just be a little more cold email friendly.
How about something like Go High Level?
I haven't heard of them or haven't used them, so I'm not sure how they are. For me, we've tested a lot of different.
Adam doesn't have a lot of friends. Because all it takes is one friend to sign up for Go High Level, and everybody gets blasted. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Joe, didn't we already talk about how I'm a sensitive millennial? You're going to make me laugh in there.
Can't do it. Yeah.
Oh, you're in
Easy
the wrong
with that.
podcast then, brother.
Yeah.
Right there
yeah,
with
so,
you, dude.
yeah, there you go, Tyler. We got to stand strong together, you know. And if you want like a more of a hacky mass outreach tool, there's a tool called GMass out there that hooks right into your Chrome. We used to use it when we were getting started. It was a good kind of hacky cold email tool.
It was a baby step thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was a baby step, and it definitely can get you good results, but it's not like a true system builder. And I don't think it's built for the long term, but it does a great job of what it does.
Mm.
And then one other thing I just want to throw out there, just to show you guys even some of the potential, is there's a way to research. Like, okay, so think about your biggest competitor. They could be a huge company. Now imagine if you could reach out to people that follow that company, people that interact with that company. So one of the things that we've started doing now is we'll target our customers' competitors. And how we do that is we'll go on LinkedIn, we'll find who their competitors are. We'll see they have 100,000 followers on their LinkedIn. We'll scrape the followers that fit our customers' ICP. So like for me, one of our big competitors has like 50,000 followers on it. One of the things that I've done is we scrape the followers with people that have titles that tend to work best for us. VPs of marketing, VPs of sales and above. Companies with 50 to 200 employees, and then we run outreach campaigns just to those guys too. So just to give you an idea of, because of AI, because of all these different technologies, anything is possible, including just sending a targeted email to someone who is interacting with your biggest competitor.
No, that's wonderful. Again, because it's social on social media, you're not doing anything wrong. So.
Exactly.
I like it. Wow. Okay, talk about a data dump, right? That was phenomenal, Adam. Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's start this from the top. Let's do it again.
Yeah. No,
you have 3 minutes. Go. Yeah. No. So again, PPPSPA, right? Go in with that one, right? You got to get in there. Clay.com. Don't do clay.ai. Right? Instantly sounds like something we need to look at. I would say go eocworks.com. Email Adam at eocworks.com if you want access to the GPT. He'll give it to you because he knows this stuff is frustrating. He knows this stuff will kick your butt at times. So you want to offload as much as you can. It's not about piling as much as you can onto yourself as an entrepreneur. It's about freeing yourself up to do what you do great. And
on that note too, Joe, one thing also is everything that we share is stuff that was like 3 steps behind where we are today. Like even that GPT prompt, it's good. It's good, but it's also hasn't been updated in 4 months. So it's like it's a lot better than what most people are going to do and most people are going to have, but it is a little further back from where we are, just because we always have to test things ourselves, and then we of course unveil it to everybody. So that is one thing of like, just know everything that you get from us. It's always, or really from anybody, it's going to be a few steps behind where they are because they have to test the new things before they roll it out.
Fantastic. So what Adam said was email him every 3 months, like you just saw the show, and say, "Hey, I saw you on the show. Let me have this."
Exactly.
Let me have that. And, yeah. So you know how many emails he's going to get, right? So he can't remember if he sent it to you already. So.
And I am an open book.
He has AI that answers it and goes, "Oh, customer asked for the custom GPT," and it automatically sends it back anyway. So, but perfect.
So yeah, I mean that's all I got for you guys. Unless you want to get nerdy, because I will always be happy to get in the weeds. I'm probably one of the few people that gets excited talking about cold email and everything that goes into it. But if you guys don't have any more questions, then we can wrap up class.
Yeah, I do want to introduce you with Coach Dan because he has a show. May be interested in having you on the show.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we can get Adam's name out there. Yes. So, and now Dan, you have his email in the private chat.
Well, yeah, and I've been emailing you a bunch of things, so you're going to if everything that you've offered, Adam, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll get that too.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this right now or watching this, you're a moron if you're not emailing Adam the things that he's sharing, because it's free and it's great.
Yeah.
So don't be stupid.
Don't try and rewrite a book, right?
Yeah,
it's
right.
already there. The cliff notes come from Adam on this show, and then he's still saying, I'll give you the whole copy, right? When you get there. So now, fantastic. JR, any questions?
It's just been great, and I'm going to send every 3 months, and I'm going to run it through Clay or Apollo or one of these things, so I'll get through your screen.
Let's do it.
Have times chance to be your friend.
That's fantastic.
I like it. Let's roll, JR. I like it.
Great. Tyler, any questions for you? I did like Tyler in the private chat goes, oh, here comes Joe's car business side in the show when he start working a deal out here.
Yeah, you can take him out of the dealership, but you can't take the dealership out of Joe.
No,
that's the thing about
that's
him.
the true statement. So.
Yeah, no, I'm very interested. Just like Joe said, I'm very interested in this because if I could just tap into some people out here that I don't really have. I'm still trying to drag people from down south up here to come see me. And then also we have a lot of we really want to get some fleet business going. So that would be amazing to really tap into some companies out here that have diesel trucks and stuff like that. That'd be crazy good right now.
Well, Tyler, what's really
Adam,
cool?
what's your take on wearing a pickle costume on Instagram?
By pickle, do you mean pickleball? Is that what you're saying?
No, like don't get yourself in a pickle with a car wearing a full size pickle costume.
I just learned what pickleball is about a week ago. Now I'm obsessed with it. So I thought that's just where my head naturally goes. But yeah, I love it. Get the pickle costumes. Let's get some people in there. But on that note, Tyler, what I love about your business specifically is there's a lot of businesses that do nothing when it comes to cold email. And what's always exciting for me in those businesses is it's such an X factor, because so many of us receive emails about web development work, or even the stuff I do, lead generation stuff. Like a lot of our inboxes are full with emails like that. But when you're a business that's a little more unique, that isn't typically cold emailing, we've seen some of those businesses get the best results because people aren't used to receiving these emails a lot. So if you could put together a compelling pitch, it could be a huge X factor for your business, Tyler, and a lot of other businesses like yours that maybe aren't as traditional when it comes to cold emailing.
I like it. Now I'm thinking my clients, right? I'm sitting there going, ooh, let's go see. And of course, the car business side, I'll be working it out going, so if I bring you 3 dealers, right, then where does Joe's emailing? Yeah, exactly.
Little piece for the niece right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. We can get that done. So, Dan, do you have anything else?
No, just be on my show and answer my emails.
I'll do both of those, Dan.
All
Gladly.
12 of them that he's sent so far.
Hey, man, every time you said email me, I'm like, fine.
I'm ready for it. I have my work cut out for me tonight.
So, Adam, thank you so much for sharing what you shared. Again,
thanks,
you peeled back, right? You let us behind the curtain to see what's happening. And again, you have a DIY solution. You also have a full solution that's out there. So I would have everybody reach out, Adam at eocworks.com, or in the show notes, go grab it, hit him up on LinkedIn. He's there too. And thank you so much. And everybody else that's out there watching, go out and sell something.
Hell
Thanks,
yeah.
everybody.
Amen. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.